so it's not so long. And I remember one of my fellow teachers saying, "You're going to go 17 hours from here to meet with a bunch of people that you've never met in person?" It's like, well, when you say it like that, now you're making me scared, you know. But I did, and I was blown away by the friendships that I made that weekend. Many of those people are still here. People that just accepted me as part of the group and were willing to teach me. I remember Nyla and I was sitting there. She's helping me. All I had was my little printed BB-8 dome, and I knew nothing about Bondo and all the sanding that you have to do and all that kind of stuff. That piece is pretty sad when you look at it now, but it's okay. It was a learning process. And over the years, as the club has continued to grow, I never really envisioned being able to really give back to the club for all that was being given to me, because I'm just a teacher and I've been learning how to do. I was a robotics coach and chemistry teacher and have done a lot of STEM stuff, but I knew that I was really, kind of got involved so I could learn. And so I could build robots, because I'm always trying to get my kids to do it, but I can't build their robots for them. They have to do it. And by my kids, I mean my students. And so got involved. And then we had a conversation at a later DroidCon about, I said, I think I know what I can do. Because after talking to people, they told me, they started asking me questions. So I want to go do a presentation at my school. What do you think I should talk about? Because there's a lot of y'all out there who've never, really, aside from maybe sending your own kids to school, have never gone to the school with your droid and didn't know what to do. And so I started getting those questions, and I told Steele, I think I know what I can do to give back and to help. So we kind of started at that point, what is now the Droid Builders STEAM initiative and the Droid Builders STEM Academy. So that's what I'm going to tell you a little bit about, and kind of tell you where we're headed right now, because we've got a little thing called Celebration coming up. So what is it? The goal behind the STEAM Academy is to give students ages 5 to 18, and sometimes we have kids under 5, the opportunity to explore hands-on learning activities, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math in the context of the Star Wars universe, and especially highlighting droid building. We are doing this at Star Wars Celebration, and now many of y'all are starting to do things too at your local cons, which is what we talked about last year. STEAM education is so important because it really helps kids to develop critical learning skills, problem-solving skills, how to interact with technical content. Even if they don't go into a direct STEM field related area, being able to use this to be able to evaluate things in their everyday lives. I tell my students who are taking chemistry, they're like, I'm never going to use chemistry again. I'm like, yeah, you may not balance an equation again or calculate the number of moles, but the problem solving skills that you develop in a class like that is what is valuable and helps you with all aspects. And then a lot of people say, well, why does everybody want to put art in there? Well, I think y'all are like the best people to answer that, because look at around the room. Y'all are building technical machines, but you've added art to that. You combine and create, you design your own little fixes, you re-engineer parts, you do these, really cool mashups, and you show that, doing technical stuff, building a robot can also be fun and personalized through art. So that's why we think it's important to have that in there. And it really helps to attract people who may not traditionally be involved in a science technology type profession. So just a real brief overline of our timeline. So after we started having these conversations, we first looked at Star Wars Celebration Chicago. We did 2 classes. We did a coding BB-8 with the little BB-8 Spheros that came out. And then we also did a droid circuit class where the kids used like an LED and a battery, and they drew a droid, and we put the little LED in there to light it up. It was really adorable. And so we just had those 2 classes in the family room at Celebration, and they were very well attended. We got really great comments on that. Then, of course, we were supposed to do 2020. That got delayed because of COVID, but it gave us more time to plan. So in 2022, we greatly expanded it, and we actually had a formal classroom of our own and an activity room. So the formal classroom, we had like 90-minute classes that kids can come in with their parents and learn to do something through hands-on activity. Like Anna, who is here, she taught one called Luke's Hand, and they had to build kind of like a robotic arm with cardboard and string and things like that. They were prototyping a robotic arm. Oh, I keep moving. I'm sorry. And okay, thank you. And then we had some other classes on like learning how to do CAD with Tinkercad. Lots of things. Thank you. I need that. So okay. And so we had these formal classes that people could come attend. Then in the room next door was a class area that was kind of an ongoing active classroom where we had tables set up, and at each of the tables, people were doing different activities. So we had like these little lightsabers that were made with like straws and electrical tape, and little badges, blinky badges, where it was like a picture of a droid and kind of a version of our paper circuit droids, but printed on cardstock, and they would color it, they would wire it up, and then they could wear it, around the conference. We even had like a robotic hand that, we had to go save C-3PO and stuff like that. It was really fun. And so we didn't really know what to expect that first time. We were, kind of thinking, we were hoping people would come and check us out. And, that very first day, it was a little quiet. And we found out later it was because there was a really long line and it took a while for people to come in. But once they came in and they discovered our room, we were like in constant motion the rest of the time. We didn't get very many breaks. We didn't really get lunch breaks. We kind of tried to say, okay, go take off for a couple hours, It was really crazy. But what was really amazing about it was the way builders would come in and work the tables with kids when they came in, and watching all of y'all shine. It was fabulous. Just seeing you sit down and explaining kids, oh, this is how this works. This is how circuit works, and giving them that, informal, but really true hands-on education. And that is the key to making this so successful. It's not anything that my education team has done. I mean, we're a cog in the wheel, but y'all are really the ones that bring it to life with your knowledge and your expertise. So we had the opportunity to then partner with the Grant Imahara STEAM Foundation and did Celebration London the very next year. That was like crazy. A lot of fun, but it was, really kind of nuts to have to turn everything over in 9 months. But again, I still remember those talks. They're like, okay, we're going to actually plan this and get enough people so that y'all can take an actual lunch break. No, it didn't happen. It was just so busy all the time. I mean, it's just constantly busy. Which is good. We were excited that we were getting such a great response from the kids. And my favorite story on both of these that I just love is hearing about how kids would go and make something in the Make a Take room, and then they would come out, and then, Droid Builders would be out with their droids, and they would go to the droid and show them what they made. And I was just like, I love that. It's so cute. I have some pictures of that here in a minute. But anyway, so that's like my favorite thing. So now we've got Los Angeles coming up, back in the U.S. So that's exciting. Yay! We're so excited about that. So that's what the focus of this presentation is going to be a little bit more on, is we've got to start planning for Celebration Los Angeles and our STEAM rooms. So first of all, this just kind of gives you a picture of what this looks like. This was pictures from our formal classroom in London. And you can see we had a pretty big room there. I was surprised at the size of the room we got. But you see kids that come in with their parents sitting next to them and interacting and participating. This was a class on learning how to use Tinkercad. So this shot was caught kind of at the beginning when we were watching a little video about Grant Imahara, and then we started teaching them how to use the program. And so they got to actually get on Tinkercad on the computers and learn how to do that. Here's some of the kids. He was in the Tinkercad class, and they were making a little piece of Beskar, that you could 3D print. This was one of the girls that made a badge, and then so she wanted to have her picture taken with R2 with her badge on, so I thought that was really precious. That was from the activity room. And then some of the kids that were coloring. This is kind of a funny story because I made this little coloring area where they would actually put these on strings and try to make them walk, but all they wanted to do was just like color all the time. So kids would come in and color all the different droids. And then last year at DroidCon, if you were here, there were several of us that made these baby droids. These are the ones that were designed by Michael Badley. And so we printed out several of those. Steele and his crew printed out a bunch of them. Y'all painted them last DroidCon and assembled them. And so we are going to be using those at 2027 Los Angeles. So that's the first thing that is already planned and underway. And we're going to, I don't know if we're going to use the same, I think we're going to use a different track, but we're going to have a little area where they can go and drive the droids. They'll be driving the ones that y'all actually painted. So y'all did such an amazing job. It's going to be fun to see the kids doing that. So that is one thing that we will do for sure. Here's some more kids interacting with the droids. There he is showing his little droid that he colored to BB-8. Just, checking out. I mean, watching a kid interact with the droid is like nothing else. It's so much fun. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen that already. So planning is underway. We have a US-based education team, which consists of myself, Anna Linhart Murray, who's right back there, Kevin Diesler, who came to us via a recommendation, and he's fabulous. Jay Cahoon, again, was recommended to us through Josh Montgomery. I know he's going to be here on Saturday, so he's on our team. And I don't think I've ever seen a team gel together like family like this team has. It's been amazing. And we have such a wide range of interest, but we can't do it all also. So we're going to be looking to y'all to help us this year. So we're going to be continuing in a similar format. We're going to do formal classroom and separate activity room. We're working on trying to get our space requested and all that kind of stuff right now. So this is the role of the Droid Builders. So there's a couple things we need. Number one, we're going to need y'all to help provide some ideas and develop activities for the event. So, I mean, we come up with ideas all the time. We're always like, tossing it back and forth like, hey, what if we did this? What if we did that? And sometimes we have ideas that we don't really know how to carry out, but we know somebody in here does. So, for instance, Anna and I are just talking about one today. She wants to possibly develop a puppetry type class where they're going to learn some of the science of puppetry and then build like a marionette type of puppet. Maybe have some puppeteers for Star Wars come in and talk. We're still kind of just in the early stage. But we also have some builders in here that build droids. And I mean, your droids, you operate them like puppets in a way as well. So, we're probably going to be, talking to some of y'all and say, hey, we want to do this. Will you come in and talk about how you give your droid emotion, what you've built into it and the way you operate it to bring it to life, so to speak. And then there's also going to be technical things that I'd be the first to tell you, I don't know how to do a lot of stuff. Because I have to kind of be a master of all and, or what is it? A jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. Because and a mastermind. I kind of dabble in lots of little things, but it's hard for me to spend time to actually really learn a lot of it. So I'll go, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm envisioning. I want to do da 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 da. Can you make that happen? And then I know I have wonderful builders that will help. So that's one of the things that we are going to look to y'all. And then you may have an idea that you think might be great if you've seen the STEM rooms before, and maybe you've run across something and we may not know about it. So you can say, hey, we saw this and we think you ought to try to adapt it for the STEM room. And so we want you to submit those ideas. And we also are going to need lots of volunteers for to help in the classroom in the activity room at Star Wars Celebration. We usually have anywhere from 6 to 8 tables set up on that activity room, and you have about 8 to 10 seats, and each of those seats you've got a kid, and then maybe some parents that have pulled up chairs or are standing next to them. When we originally started this journey, we thought we'd be able to leave like table instructions and let kids kind of go after it, but they really did so much better when we had a dedicated person at each table teaching it. They enjoyed that interaction. It's just, again, so beautiful to watch. So what we usually do is schedule shifts of like 1 to 2 hour shifts where you go in there, sit at one table that you are comfortable with doing. We'll show you how to do it, or maybe you have some expertise. And as those kids come in, you're helping them to do the activities, get them started, let them take off with it. And then we'll rotate people out. And then that's my job and the education team to make sure that all those slots are filled and that everybody knows when they need to go where and all that kind of stuff. And so put this in your calendar. Star Wars Celebration LA is April 1st through the 4th, 2027 at the Los Angeles Convention Center. I hope we can get a lot of y'all to come because it really is a lot of fun to volunteer and help. So last year, we debuted this Facebook page, and it has not been very active, and that's my fault. I've had the last 2 years personally have been some of the most challenging and mentally difficult years that I've experienced in a long time because of the loss of my mom. And then we changed a lot of stuff at our school where we changed our schedule. And I just feel like I've just been doing nothing but school. I mean, it's all I've had the capacity for. So as much as I love the school I was working at, I had an opportunity that came up where I was asked to go and teach at a private school. So I'm retired now. Yeah, woohoo. But yet I'm, sort of retired because I'm still going to go teach practically full time. But I am going to have some additional time off. So I'm really hoping that that's going to help me to better serve this group and just kind of take some weight off of my shoulders from all that. So we're going to, we did create this Facebook page as a place for y'all to come on and ask questions, or maybe if you see an idea, you can post it. If you do any STEM at a con and you want to post, hey, this is what we did and it was really successful, post that, because that's going to help us gather ideas about things that we can do at Celebration. Because we since the last one was at, what is the link not working? I tested it earlier today and it was working. Okay, I tested it and it worked, but I think I actually have it on this next page. So I'll try to pull it up and show you, and then you can probably look it up, and I'll get it out to y'all somehow. So it's just like a club internal group. It's supposed to be on this page. Apparently. Nope. How do I go back? That's okay. Okay, we'll try to pull that up in a minute. Can you pull up a separate web page and pull it up while I do the rest of the presentation? We'll go back to it, or? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I can pull it up at the end. Sorry, I really did test this before and it was working. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I need that little encouragement. Okay, so we'll go back to the Facebook page, but we really do want that to, because I know a lot of people are on Facebook. I'm going to try to be to post more often, so y'all remember it's there. If you haven't joined, you can join the group. So again, if you see things, even if it's not something you're doing, maybe you go to a con and you see something cool that somebody's doing that we could maybe modify to go with the Droid Builders, that would be awesome. How do I click on a link with this thing? Can I? If you click on Huyang. So the other thing that we have now, and I've got to pretty this up some, but I've also created, or actually Anna created it for me today, a request form. And what this is, so the other thing that's happened is I get lots of requests, like through Facebook Messenger, sometimes an email. And I try to reply to those requests, and sometimes it gets really busy and it's hard for me to reply as quickly as I can. And sometimes I do reply and I don't hear back from the people who emailed me. So I want to try to find a way to better respond to all those requests. So I've created this STEAM education request, and if you scroll down through that, it's basic stuff like, you give your contact information, name, email address, what is it that you're looking for, or what is it you're going to use this for? Is it for an event? Is it for a con? Is it for school, the classroom, or whatever? And then you kind of describe, what it is that you're asking for help from. And so this will help, kind of reduce the number of messages that we have to do going back and forth. And then also, this is going to be checked by our whole education team. So for instance, if somebody fills this form out and they are wanting to do something with elementary age students, then, we have teachers like Kevin who does like elementary and middle school. I do some elementary. And then if it's like high school, then it might be me and Anna. If it's college, it might be Josh. So we've got different people on our team that might have that expertise for what you're requesting help from. So, and then we want to try to save all those requests. If you have an idea and you want to share it through this link, you can do that as well. So I'll be posting these in like the R2 Builders Club group, the BB-8 Builders Club group, the Mouse Droid Builders. And I'll try to do that periodically to remind y'all, so that if you do see those things, especially this summer as people are going to cons, then you can pass that out. And then I know also sometimes when you're at cons, you will have people come up and say, hey, I'm a teacher. Can you come to my classroom? Or do you know of something that I could use that would involve Star Wars or whatever? And maybe you don't have an answer for them, but you can say, hey, we do know somebody who you can talk to from our education team. And so you can put the request in or give them the information to contact us to try to help. So, but our first and foremost focus is to help y'all, the builders. We want to help y'all. And we're going to keep trying to send out stuff to help with that. Okay. Can we go back to, that's okay. You're doing amazing. Amazing. All right. Yep. Oh, and that would be it. There you go. So that's pretty much it. We want to, like I said, we want to start gathering ideas as we start planning. We want to start kind of putting in motion those ideas so that we can develop our slate of activities that we're going to use at Celebration. And we really would love to see y'all there, because I can't say this enough. It's amazing to watch the builders interact with the kids. And that is the meaningful part of it. I cannot tell y'all the number of positive things that we heard from parents that they would tell us, this is the first place that my kid wants to go to every day of Celebration. They want to come in here and see what's new, because we try to change up the activities. Some of them we keep the same, some things we do new. They want to come in and do some things again. They want to come do a new activity. They want to sit down and talk to the builders. They want to see the droids. So it's huge. It's, like I said, I don't think any of us predicted how much fun the kids would have in this room. So y'all make the magic happen. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being willing to participate in STEM, for supporting STEM, and giving your passion and expertise, because that is what makes it work. We really do appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Linnell. Yes, we are. And yes. Oh, okay. Okay. So the question was that I do get a lot of requests from teachers and for people about, activities, and if there's going to be any like links to a website or handouts that we can give to teachers. Yes, that is in the works. I apologize because, like I said, the last couple of years have been very difficult. I was just barely surviving last year because of our new work schedule. And so I did not get to finish doing some of that. We've got lesson plans that are written. We just have to get them kind of organized and make them pretty. And then we're going to have a site where those can be like downloaded and referenced and stuff like that. So we are working on that. I'm hoping in the next several months that we'll get that going, or at least get a few released and then work on a few more and things like that. There are some things that I can give you links to if you send a request to me. So that's another thing. Just knowing you have that request, you might be able to offer to make that request for the teacher until we get all this in a more organized format. Okay. Other questions? No? Yes. Oh, what now? Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Question about celebration. Will Disney or whoever fund, like if you sign up for a full day to help out, will there be supplemental financial aid or a free ticket, or how would that, is that all on our dime?
So it is, it is difficult sometimes for us to get passes. I do know that there are, that Steel will have some passes that are available that will help you get in before, if you have like a droid in the droid room. If you're wanting to come, strictly for a day to volunteer, you might reach out to me and I'll see what I can do. I just can't promise that because they're pretty stingy with passes on stuff. So yeah, it's hard to do that, but reach out to me and then we'll see. It's not something I can promise to everybody because I usually have to buy a ticket too sometimes. So. No. Yeah, and it changes every year too. You never know what they're going to do from year to year. Any other questions? Okay. I have one more thing that's unrelated to say. Let me see. I think I had one more. Did you take my controller away?
I did not take your controller.
Did I stick it in my pocket? I sure did. Y'all, I am teacher tired. Even though school is out, it's been busy moving classrooms and everything else. Okay, there's my last slide. I thought it was really cute. I want to say one more thing, and it's really kind of unrelated to my presentation, but since I was on the first day, I thought I would say this. There's a lot of y'all that are new here, and it's really easy when you come to something like this and maybe you haven't built a droid yet, or maybe you've started one and you haven't gotten very far on it. And it's real easy to kind of say, look around and be like, man, look at their droid. It does all this fancy stuff. Or how did they get that done so fast, or whatever. Y'all, when you're here, just remember everybody's on their own journey. Everybody does something different. I still have not built a one-to-one droid. I mean, I have a baby droid and I have a Lola that are like really small. And I was even down this week. I was talking to Anna. I said, I'm having a hard time getting excited because I'm once again coming to DroidCon. It's been like almost 10 years without a droid finished. And I'm still very sad about that, but
You're not alone, Nancy. Trust me. I've been working on mine for 6 years. Come on.
I know, which is why I'm saying this, because everybody has their own journey and everybody has different responsibilities and different financial ability and different ideas. And some ideas are easier to implement than other ideas. And everybody comes with a different level of knowledge and expertise. So just come and just have fun and get to know these people around you, because I tell you that this is like these people here are like some of my closest friends. And we don't even see each other, but maybe once a year, sometimes once every 2 or 3 years. But the minute I came here and spent that weekend here, I knew that I had just met some of my new best friends. And I hope those of y'all who are new this year also feel that. Just strike up a conversation, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions and take your journey. I mean, I would have never thought I would be an education director for the Droid Builders when I started this journey, but I cannot tell you, even though I don't have a one-to-one droid, it has been an amazing journey, and it's opened up doors for me that I never expected would open. And it's given me a sense of accomplishment, because sometimes when you're a school teacher, it's hard, and sometimes you feel like I've many a day feeling like I'm just not, doing enough for these kids. But then I, get in front of y'all and I get to go do these cool things, and I'm reminded of, what I'm really here for, and that's to help get kids excited about science. So take your journey, no matter how long it takes. And it may be another 10 years before you see my little CB-23 rolling around here, but that will be my journey. So I say the same to you. Have fun.
Test, test. Hang on, ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise guest.
Hi. All right. Surprise guest. Thank you, Nancy. All right. Nancy got to kick off DroidCon. I'm officially saying welcome to DroidCon 2025. Thank you, Nancy. So thank you to everyone who's here and everybody who's going to be here as we're streaming this now. So the format for this year is the same as last year. I think we're much more organized. Thank you, Mike, for doing like a Death Star console situation over here with all the AV stuff. So please high five Mike and buy him drinks occasionally today for this. So thank you. You'll notice on the schedule for the next couple of days, there's an hour each day set aside for Builder Show and Tell, which is what we're going to go into. So I'm going to stop talking real soon, because I would love for people that have anything cool they want to present or just to discuss what they're doing. Please come forward and take that hour just to talk. And we're not going to stream that, so don't worry. It's just here inside the room and stuff. But if you have anything interesting you want to share, ideas you've come up with, or just a general question for the group, for people that are here, please throw that out there. But that's what those show and tell hours are for. So there's one today, there's one tomorrow, and there's one on Saturday as well. And of course, for all you first timers, the after hours, this room will be open till late. It always is. So there's always after hours too that we can do that for. But I wanted to put specific time in the schedule for that because I got feedback last year that people really thought that was cool. So I'm like, yes, we're going to put that in there again today. So again, my name is Doug Bickert, and I want to welcome you. Thank you very much for coming. You got Steele out there, and Ben, and Seth, and Mike, and all of us are put this together. We're so happy that you're here to enjoy it. And please give us feedback as you have it, and we'll try to incorporate it into our next one that we do whenever that is. We'll talk about that in a couple of days. So thank you all for coming. Anyone who wants to come up, the mic is yours. Bring your stuff. Tell us what you did, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.